I'm Trish Toby with WARC reporting to you live from Westchester, New York, where there appears to be some sort of mutant menace on the loose.
Hey, I'm Pat Reber.
And I'm Matt Allcamp.
And say it with us, Pete.
Welcome
to Mutant Menace.
All right. Yeah.
I think we got it.
I think we nailed it. How's it going, Pat?
Pretty good. I'm living my life. How are you?
I'm bad. Okay.
All right. Well, we'll get to that, I'm sure.
I'm sure we will.
Now,
if you care about me, I guess.
It is time for Pat's Email Corner.
All right.
We got a handful of emails to get through today. I'm going to start with James, listener James. He's emailed us twice now, so this is exciting. The first one was just to tell us that he was doing okay. He says, "Hey, Pat, tell Matt that your collective favorite phrase turned up in an unexpected place." What he's referring to, of course, is the phrase "Holy Hannah."
Whoa.
I appreciate him going out of his way not to say in this email. Thank you, James.
Because you don't read emails that say that phrase.
He said, "Have you ever seen the ad for the 1982 Atari 2600 Spider-Man game? If not, here he is." And he links to it on YouTube. And
all right, let's go.
Indeed, Spider-Man says "Holy Hannah" in it.
Hold on, I'm going to play it in the podcast and let's me and you watch it. Ready?
Yeah, queued up.
All right, 3, 2, 1, click.
I'll blow this town to smithereens! Time bombs! Try to get up there in time,
Whoa.
Spider-Man! Watch me cut my webs, Goblin! Watch yourself fall, Silk!
Oh, have you ever played this game? It's horrible.
If I don't
No,
get you
it's like
wet,
Donkey
my
Kong.
Nazis will! Holy Hannah!
Turn it off.
This is more action than even Spider-Man could handle!
That's a pretty good Green Goblin, I'll say.
That is, yeah, that guy is committing.
For the listeners, so the listeners know, this is a guy fully in a Green Goblin costume, exactly as it looks in the comics. Even like his eyes are painted green under the mask, so it like really pops. Yeah. And he leaps up onto a building where Spider-Man is on top of a building playing the Spider-Man Atari game, the one where it's just a bunch of scaffolding.
And you web up to the top.
Yeah, and there's it'll if you get the exact right spot, it'll stick, and then you can go up or swing side to side. But if you miss even a little bit, you fall. And you can web as you fall and grab something, but it's really, really hard.
Yeah, some of those Atari games are impossibly hard, right?
Mm-hmm. Thank you, James, for your email.
Yeah, thanks. That's my line. Sinewave Sean also wrote in. He says, referring back to the issue where Doctor Strange pops in, says, "Hey, Pat, tell Matt that it really does look like Doctor Strange has got the Book of Kells in his library." This makes sense, though. As it exists now, the book has been split into 4 volumes, with only one being on display in Trinity College at any given time. Oh. Maybe he's just got one of the other volumes.
So wait, only one being on display in Trinity College, meaning the other 3 are lost, or meaning they rotate them?
That's interesting. That would be a great, or actually, it would probably be a terrible movie. But because finding the lost books of Kells,
yeah, because it'd just be like calling around to collectors, being like, "Hey, what do you have in your collection?" And scanning through databases and being like, "Oh, this Bible actually I think might be the Lost Book of Kells," and then looking at it and being like, "Oh no, it's just some other illuminated manuscript." So,
or maybe it's at the bottom of the ocean, or
you're right. You're right.
Hidden Nazi treasure.
It's just always so boring when you find out like archaeologists discovered this long lost document, and it's almost always in a collection already, and it had been cataloged some dozens of years ago, but cataloged wrong. But I do know that oftentimes with ancient texts like that, like really rare, really fragile ancient texts, people will display them in like a glass case, and once every few days or something, like on a schedule, turn the page. So if you're a scholar or even just like a fan, you can come and look at that week's page or whatever. So maybe they do rotate the 4 volumes.
Oh, where they just read through like that account that tweets each line of Moby Dick.
Yes, yeah. And when they're not, any volume they're not displaying, they give to Doctor Strange.
Sinewave Sean also goes on to say, gotta agree with Pat on X-Men The Last Stand. As much as that movie is a bit of a mess, it's at least trying and sometimes succeeding in doing something interesting, certainly more than Dark Phoenix does.
We cut out like 6 minutes of discussion about that movie.
Yeah, sure did. But I did call out Sinewave Sean specifically as somebody that would support my argument. So I just knew it. I felt it. Email Michael wrote in, another old regular. He says, hey, Pat, tell Matt that this is regarding a discussion in episode 29 about whether or not Wolverine the superhero could defeat a Wolverine the forest-dwelling animal.
I saw this today and I'm angry.
This was based on the idea that a woman transformed into a Wolverine defeated Wendigo,
Yes.
who defeated Wolverine, just in case we don't remember, which is helpful. Thank you, email Michael. My personal belief is that despite his powers and skills giving him all the tools needed to, Wolverine the man could not defeat a regular Wolverine. Keep in mind that Wolverine the man's idea of hunting is to creep up on animals, touch their butts, and then presumably giggle and scamper away. I think that were he faced with hostile wildlife of any kind, he wouldn't know what to do and would be mauled severely until the animal had devoured enough of his infinitely regenerating meat to get full, sleepy, and wander away. But what do you think? Do you agree with me that the superhero Wolverine is extremely stupid? That he signs off, would also lose to a regular Wolverine. Email.
No! No, I don't agree. He would just beat up the Wolverine. This is ridiculous. This is okay. When he is out hunting, he goes up and touches their butts. If something's hunting him, he just told this to Nightcrawler. Something's hunting him, he has no problem killing it.
That was a good question. Do you think, Matt, that you could fight a Wolverine?
Could I fight a Wolverine? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Could I beat a Wolverine? I don't. I could beat up any animal.
I think the problem, or maybe just the counter argument here, Matt, is that there is this there's this tough guy mentality of like, oh yeah, I could beat up a dog, or
right.
Like I would win against a dog in a fight. Or I had a friend who thought that if a buck was charging at him, what he would do is he would fall to the ground on his back and then grab the antlers as he was going and just, I guess, like kind of judo style redistribute the deer's weight so that he just flips it.
Here's what I think people aren't thinking about in that moment is like in a video game, if you fuck up, you try it again. In real life, you die. I think about this all the time, right? Like if somebody pulls a gun on you, just run in close to them, right? They're not going to turn the gun around and point it to themselves. But in real life, if I'm even a second too slow, or they do something unexpected and I don't know what to do, I'm shot to death and I'm dead. I don't get to try again. So I might as well just like give them your wallet or get out of the way of a charging buck. But that said, I could beat up any animal. No contest. I'm a man. I'm a human man.
You worry about your tough guy persona, Matt. Now
I have a human brain and human arms and legs and stuff. I have opposable thumbs. I'm a man.
I would just outsmart the bear.
I could beat up any animal. Bring them on.
We also got our other faithful Mikey Two Males writing in. Now, Mike
we got to change this name.
Churning through episodes, so he has, number one, not heard his nickname yet. I hope he likes it when he hears it. Number two, has been sending us a lot of emails, so I pulled a few.
I hope he doesn't like it too much, because we've got to change Mikey Two Males to Mikey 12 males or Mikey 10 males or Mikey
at
20
some point,
males.
He's going to catch up, and he's not going to have episodes to respond to as frequently.
Okay,
So-
then he might be back to Mikey 2 males, but for now he's Mikey 10 males.
Okay. What he says he did. So you ruined my thing where I put them in pairs so that it was.
Okay.
Still Mikey 2 males.
Sure, he can be Mikey 2 males
We
for
can't-
now.
You can't just change someone's name like that, man. So I pulled some highlights here. He says, "Hi, Pat. Tell Matt that I have a list of X-Men characters I think I could take in a fight. None of them. That's the list. Let me know what you think."
Okay.
I don't remember asking about this, but
I do not remember asking that.
it seems like a common sense question. Geek, maybe?
I don't know. Did you see
He's
the way
very
he
brave.
wielded that bat? I think I could beat up Artie.
Artie. Here's a fun set of emails he sent. "Hi, Pat. Tell Matt I can't find my pencil and it's bothering me."
I'm really sorry.
Followed quickly by, "Hi, Pat. Tell Matt I found my pencil. It was under my desk calendar."
Oh, really good work. Really good work, Mikey. Thanks.
He did let us know he's on episode 22 now, and it's such a great listen. I've been recommending the show to a lot of friends. So,
Aw, Mikey 10 males. Thank you so much.
thank you, Mikey 2 Males. That, my friend, is the end of Pat's email corner.
All right. So now I guess I can tell you what's been going on with me.
Well, we gotta get the theme song.
Oh, I have to tell you after the theme song?
Well, I don't want you to get cut off by the theme song, which
Oh, right. Yeah.
always happens. And all right, I mean,
What?
if it's not going to come, you can try to start.
Now you've got me freaked out about it.
Yeah.
Is there something like quick we can talk about, or?
Well, did you do anything X-Men related this week? Oh, there it is.
Damn it. All right. Hey,
Okay.
Pat, I got a question for you. Did you do anything
yeah,
X-Men
yeah.
related this week?
You know what, Matt? I sort of.
Okay.
There's just a thing I was thinking about, and I wanted to talk about it somewhere.
Sure.
And this seems like the best medium for it. I was thinking about my love of sports. I had a miserable week as a Philadelphia sports fan. I don't know if any listeners can relate, but if you can, give us a quick Go Birds. MuteMenasPod@gmail.com. It'll make me so upset.
Mhm.
But I was thinking about my love of sports, and I was thinking about my love of comic books and where this all came from. And I think what I really enjoy
Mhm.
is following something with a deep history, following something with
Okay.
like multiple eras, right?
Mhm.
If we look at sports, you can track a team's progress. You can track their sort of like their emotional arcs over time when it comes to the players on the team, when it comes to the rivalries in the league, when when you remember like very specific moments in the history of that team. It tells a story. Like you can watch, I mean, there's so many sports documentaries out there, so obviously there's stories to be told, but it's just, it's fascinating. And it's something like the Philadelphia Eagles, I know a good bit of history around, right? Or the Philadelphia Phillies, or the Philadelphia 76ers. There's mostly Philadelphia teams for me. But it's the same with X-Men, right? Or Daredevil. I've read, 70% of Daredevil comics. And I know so many details about him, so many little things about his past. I remember these specific moments of his career. I've seen him develop and like understand not just why he is the way that he is, but why the people around him are the way they are, the way that you understand why the fans react the way that they do
Okay.
in their individual cities. Those are each like little subcultures that mirror sort of the peanut gallery of any superhero. So it's just something I was philosophizing on. Wanted to share that, and I don't know that there's actually anybody in my life that shares my passion for the two things equally. So Maybe someone here wants to be my friend. I'm just kidding. Please don't write in asking to be my friend.
I don't. I mean, I can get it conceptually.
Yeah.
But it just does not hit me the same. I don't understand watching a sports game, even if I have somebody nearby telling me the stories of people and like the significance of a thing, of a rivalry or of a person's career.
Oh, you tune out.
I don't get any more satisfaction of watching the sports game than somebody just telling me that story. Like if I am not watching the sports game and somebody tells me the story of some guy who had a horrible season and then he was traded to some other team and then had the best season of his life and brought that team to the playoffs or something, and then he's facing the person who fired him or whatever, I'm like, oh, that is interesting. And then when they tell me how that game went, it's like, that's interesting. But if I'm watching that game, the story does not hit me the story is not informing my watching of that game at all. I would rather the game be over and then somebody tell me the story beginning to end.
That's fair. You have your little corners, though. You usually run podcasts about them.
I will say there's a video game podcast I listen to called Triple Click on Maximum Fun Network, and a video game journalist, Jason Schreier, is a big sports fan, and he will often tell sports stories during big sports moments, and I am enthralled, but it's never, ever gonna make me watch one of these sports games.
It's okay. Do you watch the Super Bowl when it's on?
No.
No. Interesting. Everybody watches the Super Bowl, even if they just want to do like the Go Sports shtick.
Not everybody, Pat. I also don't like the Go Sports shtick. I also don't like the sports ball joke. I don't enjoy sports or the mocking of sports. I just don't like it. I find it uninteresting on every level.
You think platforming it in general is wrong?
I don't think it's wrong. I don't have a moral objection to it. I have a attention span objection to it.
All right. Well, if you want to talk sports, mutantmenacepod@gmail.com.
You guys might have to start your own. You might have to start your own thread in the Discord. Sports.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll do a sports chat. What about you, Matt? Did you do anything X-Men related this week?
Oh, fuck. Okay, so, all right. This seems like the only chance I'll get all week to tell you the difficult things that are happening in my life that are kind of serious and like really, really affecting me. And I could really use a friend to help me through it.
Yeah,
so
try to tie him to X-Men and we can leave him in the final cut.
Shit, okay. Okay, Pat, we just cut out like 7 minutes of silence. I cannot think of a way to tie this to X-Men. Yeah, so I guess
that's a shame.
Yeah.
Maybe if there's time after, I know we're recording at a weird time today, so I might not be able to, but if there's time after, we can talk about it.
Guys, he's lying. He doesn't talk to me he doesn't talk to me off the podcast.
If there's time, I'll talk to you.
You say that every time.
Is there anything X-Men related?
I ate a lot of donuts this week.
Ooh, me too.
So that's X-Men related because both hosts of the Mutant Menace podcast did. I can't think of a single time an X-Men ate a donut. I'm sure in the 60 years of X-Men history, somebody ate a donut. I cannot think of a single time.
Well, now we got to keep an eye out for it.
Got to keep an eye out for the donuts. Well, all right. Now we're done with that business. Who starts this week?
I'll take it.
All right. Do you want to read me the story of Uncanny X-Men 143?
Uncanny X-Men number 143, Demon.
Yes.
Chris Claremont and John Byrne, writer, co-plotters, and penciler.
Pat, this is John Byrne's last issue.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, remember because of the stump thing?
Yeah. That's just, it was so fast.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like the way John Byrne talks about it. It is the switching of editors to Louise Jones. And Louise started siding with Chris
Oh.
Claremont on conflicts.
He doesn't like women.
Yeah, that's what he says.
Terry Austin, inker, Tom Orzechowski, letterer, Glynis Ween, colorist, Louise Jones, editor, and Jump Shooter editor-in-chief. Release date, December 16th, 1980. Cover date, March 1981. Matt?
Yeah, I'm here.
Do you remember way back in issue 96 when Cyclops fired a big blast in the woods and it hit an ancient cairn and released a bunch of demons?
Yeah, but surely they would never go back to that story because it was so ridiculous.
Well,
Oh,
we're back there.
okay.
Back in time. Watching Storm, she's blasting the cairn apart, banishing the Angari. If you remember, that's how they eventually got that demon to disappear.
That's the name of the demons, Nagarai.
It's a year later on Christmas Eve, and what's this?
Huh?
One of the demons is climbing out of the rubble.
What?
And he kills a nice couple in the woods.
What are they doing there?
They were chopping down a Christmas tree, which,
Hey,
I'm
wait.
glad you asked, Matt. This is so interesting to me because you and I were not part of the era where I guess you just went out, found a pine tree in the wild, or hoped it wasn't on someone's property and then chopped it down as your Christmas tree. Is that how people used to do it?
I know that was like a cliche when I was a kid. Like, I think that's like how the Simpsons did it or whatever, the first
Right.
Simpsons Christmas episode. And I assumed that's how you got Christmas trees, but then we always went to a Christmas tree farm.
I've seen someone do that. I've seen someone do that once, and it was a group of drunk 20-year-olds.
Right, middle of the night.
It was for their first apartment. Yeah. But yeah, this is the thing that people used to do. I know you can go to a tree farm
Wild.
now and cut your own tree, which I think that's cool. We do plastic trees because as a child, we had both a Christmas tree that had spiders nesting, like spiders' eggs nesting in it, and a Christmas tree that had praying mantis
Whoa!
eggs nesting in it. We had our apartment, our little apartment was covered in tiny praying mantises that our cats just kept eating.
Jesus! Wow. Yeah, I guess I might switch to plastic trees if that happened to me.
Yeah. Anyway, it's Christmas Eve. Let's cut to the mansion. Professor X is teaching Kitty Pryde how the Blackbird controls work when Angel interrupts. It's time for the X-Men to go somewhere.
He makes his kids study on Christmas Eve. Like he's just like, Kitty, it's Christmas Eve at night. And he's like, we have to keep drilling this Blackbird computer program.
Well, I do think it sucks that it's Christmas Eve, and that's shitty for him to do. He even mentions it's Christmas Eve. He's like, I know it's Christmas. We're still doing this. But a theme of this issue is, I think, taking a closer look at, like, hey, he doesn't just make them fly in circles in the danger room. He is handling their education start to finish and training them to be these, like, elite soldiers, where everybody on the team needs to be able to not just fly an SR-71 Blackbird, but
even a 13-and-a-half-year-old girl.
But repair it too.
Oh wait, well, she's been there for months. It says in this issue, right? So she might be close to 14 now.
Logan introduces the gang to Mariko, and Nightcrawler sneaks in a kiss on the cheek with some mistletoe, causing Logan to lash out.
He's back to trying to kill his friends.
To trying to murder him.
Yeah, like full
like,
claws.
I don't fuck around, elf. I will stab you. But he regains his calm very quickly, and Kitty lightens the mood by doing the same mistletoe kiss to Peter. He blushes.
Yeah, she calls him sexy.
She does. She's 14.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to learn how to move past that. The X-Men then all take off in the roles, leaving Kitty all alone in the mansion on Christmas Eve. So what does she do? She trains in the danger room.
That's a dude.
What a dork.
Yeah.
What a nerd. First, though, she does take a quick call from Scott Summers, who called to wish his pals a Merry Christmas. He's in Florida looking for work as a ship hand. Just pause.
Yeah, sure.
He just walks up to a boat, finds the captain, and is like, he's doing the vagrant sailor life. He's looking to escape.
Do you think that's how you used to get work as a sailor? You would just walk up to a boat and be like, hey.
Yes, this is me maybe romanticizing the late 70s, early 80s a bit, but I think there were a lot of cash only, walk up, and it's like your parents always say, go in, shake their hand, tell them you're looking for work and that you're a good dude.
Right.
And
tell me you'll push a broom and they will look around their storefront and say, it is dusty in here. Here you go, kid, and hand your broom and pay 12 coppers.
And someday you might own that store. That boat. So, yeah, Scott Summers went to Florida looking for work as a ship hand. He finds it by talking to the captain of the Arcadia, though he's taken aback when the captain turns out to be a woman.
What? Named
Elatus Lee Forrester.
I assume it's Elitis since her nickname is Lee.
Yeah, that's fair. Elitis.
But yeah, man, Scott Summers.
I'll eat us. Is this foreshadowing?
Oh my God. I don't know.
Back in New York.
She's threatening herself, though, in that case. Watch out, I'll eat us.
Back in New York, Kitty hears a burglar alarm go off and goes up to Aurora's loft to check it out. The skylights are busted in and her plants are suddenly all dead. Kitty sees some weird goop on the floor, and then suddenly the Angari demon attacks. She dodges his claws and runs through the walls of the house.
No.
But the demon pursues her, easily smashing through each wall. She decides to see if she can outsmart it by phasing through the stairs and hiding. But the moment she pops out to call Xavier's car phone, the demon is right there and its claws slice through her.
Oh, it's okay, because she's phasing, right?
She's phasing at the time, but for some reason, it still hurts and paralyzes her right arm entirely.
Whoa.
She realizes not only is the demon smart, it can hurt her when she's phasing. So she decides to lead it to the danger room, and Air walks up to the control booth to program the most dangerous possible scenarios as a trap. But it doesn't show up in the danger room. It bursts the door behind her, but her trap still works as she phases through the ground.
Girl.
And the demon dives through the observation window after. She notices that the only thing that seems to harm it is fire, but it's still after her, so she escapes into the tunnels below the mansion. Thinking quickly, she leads it to the Blackbird that she just learned how to control and fix.
Yeah.
Hops in the cockpit and fires on the engines just as it closes in on the jet. And it works. The heat of the rockets burns the demon to ashes, but as she approaches the blaze, a hand springs out at her. Midnight. The X-Men return home. They sense an evil presence in the house, and it's cold inside. Following the noise of the television, they approach the living room, and Kitty is there, warming herself by the fire in a big pink robe. Turns out, where they all went was to pick up Kitty's parents as a Hanukkah present, and they all drink punch as Kitty explains to Aurora what happened while they were away.
So it's literally just Alien. It's just Alien.
It's, man, I got a real Home Alone vibe from this.
Because she sets traps in the danger room? Yeah.
She sets traps in the danger room, and then the whole family comes back. At one point, she literally says, I'm home alone. Like to kick the whole thing off. And then the whole family comes back and they're like, oh, Kitty, so glad that you're okay, even though we left you at home. Wait, what's all this damage?
Kevin!
Exactly.
The
end of Home Alone.
I see your point, but I'm going to go back to the Alien thing a second, because Alien had just come out 2 years earlier. And it was huge.
Yeah.
And they even have the scene in here. I've never seen Alien, but I know the scene where the thing is where there's goop dripping from the ceiling.
Yeah.
And she looks down and then looks up and the alien is there, right? Or the alien jumps down on her or something like that. They even have that scene in this comic book.
It is very alien. I'm not arguing with you there. It is like a single terrifying creature stalking a single woman around a vast technological complex.
And am I right that in Alien, the woman destroys the alien at the end by this exact same thing, turning on some sort of jet that burns the alien behind it?
No, pretty sure it's been a little while since I've seen it, but I'm pretty sure she sucks him out of the airlock. Like tricks him. It is a series of tricks to get him to a specific place so that she can kill him.
All right. I got the wiki open, and it seems like we're both right. It seems like we're both right. She ejects it from the space station and then fires the engines and burns it up.
Okay.
So both.
Although,
both. But
if we're steeped in alien lore, that doesn't necessarily kill it.
So I think I just wanted to figure that out because I thought this was like a direct reference, and I guess it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Matt,
it is. Yeah.
See Alien. It's masterful.
I was just talking to somebody. I've talked about this on podcasts before. I think I might have even talked about it on this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Is like most action movies I haven't seen.
Alien is more of a like science fiction horror than an action movie.
I see. Yeah. I get that. But often when I say like, oh, I never saw Predator, I never saw Terminator, people are like, how about Alien? So I guess that's why that springs to mind that way.
Yeah, just the big movies of the time.
But anyway,
yeah.
This issue fucking ruled.
Yes, yeah, it did. Why do you think it ruled?
I think because it balances really well this idea of Kitty being a superhero and Kitty being a teenager, right?
Yeah.
She like a superhero immediately goes to start training when her friends leave. But like a teenager, she starts complaining and she's like, I shouldn't have to train like this. I'm already in good shape. And plus I have superpowers. So what? And then like mid-sentence, she sprains her ankle or pulls a muscle in her thigh. And she's like, Kitty, she doesn't even, I don't think, realize it at the time. She doesn't realize it till the end why she needs her training. But at the moment, she pulls her thigh muscle, and we, the reader, are like, yeah, see, Kitty. And she, as a teenager, doesn't even realize she just proved herself wrong. And then again, she like fights this fucking demon and wins, but barely because she's just a teenager. It's just like this amazing encapsulation of how vulnerable and how skillful Kitty Pryde is at the exact same time. What did you love about it?
I think the characterization here, and just there's so many lines that she has that are just her being brave. It's the same as that, like, Cyclops told me it's okay to be afraid as long as I don't let it, long as I don't let it stop me. There's like so much of that. It's a peek into young Kitty's head, because we saw the adult she grows up to be potentially. But it's such a peek into, like, she's got the juice, she's got the superhero spirit.
She's destined to be a superhero, even though now she's a kid.
The other thing I love about this is the pacing here, because for the bulk of the issue, aside from like the intro and when the X-Men return at midnight,
right,
only about 5, maybe 10 minutes pass for 16 pages of this comic.
Right.
It is so artful. Like, it slows it down. It really helps you feel the sort of the sense of dread and the sense of being stalked.
Right.
It's so cool.
So even though Kitty only appears in this one of these 5 issues, pretty much, like, she's got little cameos in the other ones. This is why this episode is called Kitty Pryde, is because this issue is where you get to know this is Kitty Pryde. This is who she is. This is her spot in X-Men and the Marvel universe entirely. Like, you read this issue and you go, yeah, Kitty Pryde is a Marvel superhero and she is forever.
Yeah. It also, I know I said this earlier, but it does a great job of reinforcing, and I think this is something Claremont and maybe Byrne as well felt the need to pop in, but there is a lot of work that goes into being an X-Man, because you're not just like super fast and super strong and super invulnerable. You have one very unique skill. If you're lucky, maybe a few unique skills, but
right.
You have to attune the rest of your body and mind to be able to compete on the level of like a Spider-Man, a Captain America, somebody that does have every tool in their kit.
That's interesting. Yeah, like that's what Professor X is doing. He's saying, and he's not always even training people to be superheroes, right? Like he's training them. He's like, this world is going to be dangerous for you as a mutant.
Yeah.
And you have to be on the level of a Spider-Man if you want to survive. And you have this power. Cool. Great. That's not enough, which is really interesting. A good example of that is how Wolverine had to learn electronics.
Yeah.
And Nightcrawler had to learn to be a mechanic, and Wolverine had to learn like how to read medical charts and shit.
Machine, yeah.
It's like they all have to be these like, and they all have to learn to pilot a jet. So, Patrick,
yeah,
do you want me to just keep rolling?
Yeah, let's push on through, Matt.
Uncanny X-Men number 144, Even in Death. Written by Chris Claremont. Guest penciler, Brent Anderson.
Whoa.
Inker Joseph Rubinstein, Glynis Wenis the colorist, Tom Warzakowski letterer, Louise Jones editor, John Schuper, editor-in-chief.
Matt.
I didn't mean to say John Schuper, but it's John Schuper.
Matt, who the fuck is Brent Anderson?
He's a guy who he doesn't have that interesting a career. He started in indie comics, moved to Marvel. Later on, he'll create Astro City with Kurt Busiek. That's kind of that is probably his second biggest work. His biggest work is something very important to X-Men history. He's the one who draws God Loves, Man Kills, the graphic novel.
Oh, we're getting to that before too long, yeah?
Yeah, not that very soon. And he's still drawing today.
Oh, nice.
Even though this is 100 million years old. I think he's like 71 or something. I hope when I'm 71, I'm still podcasting. We'll be doing this podcast because we'll be in like 2007.
Yeah. We'll finally hit that Matt Fraction era.
All right. Release date, January 13th, 1981. Cover date, April 1981. We're in 1981, Patrick.
We're in the 80s, Matt. There's more than one of them now.
Yeah. We open in the woods where an old man named Jock Forrester. Huh. Where have I heard that name before? Forrester?
I don't know.
Not Jock, but Forrester. He's dying of cancer, and he thinks about his daughter as he contemplates ending his life. He's being watched by the creature Man-Thing.
Whoa!
Who is empathically drawn to Jock's suffering, but Man-Thing is interrupted as an evil black mass appears between them.
Whoa,
the
gross.
Demon called Despair goads Jock into picking up his gun and shooting himself in the head.
Jesus.
Feeding on his pain as Man-Thing tries and fails to stop it.
We're really in a demon era for the X-Men
I guess
right now. Is it like...
Yeah.
Is this, do you know, I don't remember exactly when Marvel dropped the Comics Code stuff.
It was not yet. No.
Because this should be, or I guess these are like their workaround demons.
No, I think this is about when the Comics Code started shifting its rules.
Ooh.
Right? There's a time in the 80s where the Comics Code kind of started being like a little looser, and that might be now.
Yeah, because this is 2 in a row where they are literally... They are calling them literal demons.
Right.
Also, Man-Thing is here, Matt.
Who the fuck is Man-Thing? No, I only vaguely know who he is, to be honest.
Man-Thing is interesting. So at first glance, you would think he is just Marvel's Swamp Thing, right? He was invented by Stan Lee and Jerry Conway right around the same time that Swamp Thing came out. Eventually, he thrived under Steve Gerber, the man that we continue to talk about without ever reading the writing of.
I don't know if he'll ever come up in this podcast, to be honest. I don't
think so.
Like, unless the X-Men appear in a Steve Gerber book.
Well, so Steve Gerber gets really upset about the things that get done with Howard the Duck, and I think that he has left Marvel by this time, or if not, he's at the end of his Marvel run. So Jerry Conway actually lived with Len Wein in the same apartment, and separately they invented Man-Thing and Swamp Thing, again, right around the same time. Marvel published first. Jerry Conway apparently had to speak, like the brass at Marvel was like, you need to speak to Len Wein. And Len was like, I don't see the similarities. Ted Sallis, the fictional character, is trying to reinvent Super Soldier Serum. AIM shows up, AOL Instant Messenger, and he injects the serum into himself to prevent them from getting it. But as he's getting away, crashes into a swamp, merges with the swamp, and this turns him into a powerful empath.
That is Thing. The story of fucking Swamp Thing.
Yes. Swamp Thing turned out to be a good bit more popular at the time.
Okay.
So eventually they gave Man-Thing to Gerber. He, of course, started transcending space and time with him. He introduced him and teamed him up with Howard the Duck briefly. Eventually Claremont took over the book. So, of course, he's showing up in an X-Men comic.
Oh, right.
At one point, Claremont wrote himself into the comic, which Steve Gerber had done at the end of his run.
Okay.
But unlike Gerber, had himself turn into Man-Thing. So in the Marvel Comics universe for a brief time, Chris Claremont is the Man-Thing.
What a weird ego move.
Yes.
I'm leaving the book. Stuff. I'm leaving the book. So the book is me now. That is so bizarre.
But yeah, fucking Man-Thing. He's a very cool character because they didn't know what to do with him and gave him to the nuttiest writer in Marvel.
Yeah. Okay. In a quick interlude, the X-Men are training in the Danger Room. Kitty brings them all some sandwiches, but the gang start poking fun at her for ruining the mansion on Christmas Eve. She doesn't take it well, and she storms off, crying. Nightcrawler, exactly. Nightcrawler follows and tries to cheer her up, but it doesn't quite work.
Yeah, she hates Nightcrawler. She thinks he's ugly.
Yeah,
she
she's
hates
like
Nightcrawler because she thinks he's ugly.
She's like legitimately scared of him. She thinks like he looks like a demon. That's scary. I want him away from me. We also learn that Professor X is running into financial trouble.
Huh?
No worries. Warren Worthington III is here to help out with his fortune.
The Professor X is so passive aggressive about this. He's like Warren. He calls Warren
when he
to
has
his
the
office.
richest X-Man in his room. He's like, oh, until
boy, you wouldn't believe the money troubles I'm going through.
Just imagine him groaning for like 10 minutes as Warren stands there until Warren's like, "What's wrong, Professor?" He's like, "Oh my God.
I'm so glad you asked." It's just, I mean, you might not be able to relate to this with all your money, but we need money.
Things can be expensive, I mean, not for you, but for me, they are.
I mean, also Xavier's got like limitless generational wealth. He's just not. Yeah. He doesn't want to tap into the trust fund.
Right. Both of these guys will continue funding like businesses and crazy levels of technology and like organizations and their own lifestyle for the next 60 years. I think Professor X is doing okay. All right. In Florida, on the fishing vessel Arcadia, Scott Summers and Lee Forrester are unloading some nets full of fish. One of the crew starts giving Scott shit about his glasses. and they almost get into a fist fight.
His name is Paolo, and he's an immediate loser league candidate.
He loses a fight by not even doing the fight.
Yeah.
They're like squaring off, and Lee's like, hey, no fighting on my boat. And he's like, oh, shucks, I was just giving him heck.
Why's he would have hit me?
So afterwards, they head to a bar for some drinks and some pool, which Scott cheats at with his optic blasts when everyone's back are turned.
He's cheating!
He's cheating! He uses his crazy geometry brain. Like, this is this thing that Scott Summers can do, but only with his eye beams, is he can, like, look at a situation and be like, I can bounce off 18 surfaces.
Yes. That is canon. His spatial geometry brain is very advanced.
Yeah, he does this all the time. And it's not like we are just inserting that as canon. Like, it is always him like plotting out how his beams are going to go. And I think this proves that, right? That it is some preternatural, like mental power in Scott's head. Whether I think this is one of the reasons, honestly, that people often place him on the spectrum in the X-Men fandom.
Oh.
But like his, hyper focus on one area of study and easy mastery of it.
It's also okay. This is a small but petty detail. Number one, having an advanced spatial geometry brain is not cheating. Using your eye blasts to play pool when nobody's looking is cheating. But also, he's not technically cheating. What he's trying to do is hustle. He's trying to, he's like, everybody's back is turned. I'll use my eye beams, knock all the balls in at once so they're all impressed.
Yeah.
And then they'll want to play pool against him. Like,
it's the opposite
reverse hustling.
Hustling. He's like,
he just doesn't know how to do it.
He's never met people before. He doesn't have really good people skills. Good leadership skills, not good like
he doesn't know how to play a prank.
Real world personal skills. All right, Lee at the bar gets a call from her dad. It's so funny, her dad knows to call her at the bar. Something is wrong. She doesn't know what, so she asks Scott if he'll accompany her back home. When she gets there, her dad greets them and then just suddenly admits that he shot himself in the head. And morphs back into despair.
This is so fucked up, Matt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, not only is she finding out that her father is dead by suicide, but the evil force.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, there's so many things that are my living nightmare.
Right.
This run that we read, and this is just one of them.
A demon wearing your parents' face, telling you the worst thing your parents ever did to you that you didn't know about.
Yes.
Which is kill themselves without your knowledge. And then
terrifying.
They're gone. Like, your parents are gone. And then he throws her off a staircase.
Ugh.
So despair, like, this is the thing he does. He's feeding on her shock and grief, and then reality starts warping around them. And Scott is reliving a moment from his childhood. He's 10 years old in a plane piloted by his dad when it's struck by some unknowable force. There's only one working parachute, so his mother sends him out of the plane grasping his 6-year-old brother, Alex.
Alex Summers.
Yeah. You're right. As they fall, holding each other, the plane explodes above them.
Jesus Christ.
Now, he's in costume in Larry Trask's Mountain Fortress. The original X-Men are all dead except Havok, who is cradling Lorna's body. They stand side by side as the Sentinels burst in, but they look just like the new X-Men.
Wait a second.
They kill Alex, and Scott pulverizes them with his optic blasts. And just as Scott begins to realize that someone's playing with his mind, the X-Men then rise up like rotten corpses from the ground and literally tear him to pieces. Off panel, but that's what the narration says. We're going to have to talk about that, by the way. Suddenly, he's on a mesa in New Mexico, holding Jean Grey in his arms.
Oh.
Now, they're in an empty chapel, about to be married.
Aw.
As they walk up the aisle, her wardrobe changes from her underwear to Marvel Girl, to Phoenix, to Black Queen, to Dark Phoenix, and then to a wedding dress. And they're standing in front of all their friends and family to deliver their vows. Jean, like she did on the mesa, lifts Scott's visor, and his eye beams cut through her body instantly.
Yeesh.
Despair is there feeding on his suffering, and Scott, now in the Forrester home suddenly, leaps out the window, attempting to end his life to stop despair.
This one was another hard one to read through, where he is, this is his greatest fear, is that at some point he won't be able to control his eyes and he'll kill the people that he loves. Jean is doing that same thing that she successfully did before, saying, like, take off your glasses. I'm strong enough to
This one time he felt safety and comfort.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he actually just tears her apart. It is Jesus Christ.
So he runs, he leaps out the window, falls to the ground. He's hoping it ends his life, but he doesn't. He lives. And Man-Thing is there. Not sure why Man-Thing has to be here, but he's here.
He's been following Despair.
Yeah, again, it's just because Claremont's writing Man-Thing at the time, right? Like, it's not... Man-Thing doesn't add anything to this story. He's just there.
He cannot talk.
Right? And, like, they could have just... Like, okay, so I'll tell the rest of the story. The two burst back into the house together, finding Lee on the floor unconscious. They attack Despair, but it does no good until Scott conjures up memories of the Dark Phoenix in his head. Intentionally. Yes. Despair tries to feed on him, but finds he can't, because Scott is choosing to no longer let fear or sadness rule him.
Somebody's been to therapy.
Well, that was his therapy. We just watched it. Man-Thing, bolstered by Scott's courage, because he feeds on emotion, takes Despair by the throat. Scott runs with Lee in his arm as the mansion burns behind them. As the fire dies down, Man-Thing, all alone, wanders back into the swamps. Fucking, like, Claremont could have had Scott win that fight, right?
Yeah, but I think it makes sense that he doesn't. I have a soft spot for empaths in the Marvel universe because I think they get used.
You're kind of an empath. I don't know
because I'm a bit of a no. I think they get used really creatively, and I think this is one of those creative uses, or maybe not creative as much as just like feels inspiring. Scott's like, you know what? Fuck you and your fear-based. Like, I'm brave. I've been through this shit. It's not the first time Marvel has employed this, like
the indomitable will of this person's strength of character is what overcomes the bad guy.
Right, as specifically through with them trying to feed on their thoughts and getting like but regardless, it's very Scott Summer. You're like, oh man, this guy is still a hero at heart.
So without Man-Thing, you wouldn't have gotten that moment where it's like Scott's courage is so strong that Man-Thing now can beat Despair. But
yes,
you could have been like, oh, Scott's courage was so strong and pure it made Despair explode or something, right? Like, you could have done something like that.
Yeah. It would have stood alone successfully for sure.
Yeah. I mean, like, it was cute to see Man-Thing. I just don't know if he needed to be there. Now, I don't want to talk about it now. I just want to note how in this issue, Claremont a few times mentions things that are happening, that like physical actions that are occurring that are not shown in panel.
We don't get to see.
Right. He's like, this person is doing this thing. And in the panel, they're just like standing there, unmoving or doing something entirely else. Right. They're sitting in a chair and he writes, they stand up and walk across the room. So I just want to note that I think it'll be more interesting to talk about later, but just
Yeah. I want to note something that will continue to be a theme in this run, but I think we should talk about now
okay.
because it is another one of my personal hells. Storm. In the past, Logan has done this a number of times, but in this issue, Aurora is like, boy, I hate that brimstone smell that Nightcrawler makes when he teleports. Which, first of all, brimstone isn't that bad. It's like a burning coal.
I don't know that I've ever smelled brimstone. Sulfur smells like methane.
Yeah, it smells like butt, but
Hey,
okay, fine, but my mortal fear is that I smell bad and no one will tell me. Everyone is.
They only tell you when you leave the room.
Yes, they only mention it when I walk out. Everybody's like, boy, I love that guy. So I'll never say this to his face, but he fucking stinks.
That is a funny fear to manifest in Nightcrawler, because specifically you only smell it when he either enters a room or exits a room. So you're either going to be greeting Nightcrawler and it's going to be hard to be like, hey, you smell. Hey, nice to see you. You smell. Or he's just left, and so you're talking to an empty space. So there's no time where, in the middle of the conversation, you can be like, "Hey, man, you kind of smell bad," because he doesn't anymore.
Right, and also he doesn't get exposure to a lot of other people. Like, you spend so much time with your close friends, and if they don't want to mention it, like it becomes part of their lives, right? At some point, they barely notice it. He doesn't meet enough strangers to, by law of averages, come across somebody who's rude enough to just be like, the fuck is that smell, man?
Well, that's how people learn they're smelly, right? It's not because people come up to them and say, hey, you're smelly. They go, ugh, what is that smell? Do you smell that? And they turn to you and you go, uh-oh, I don't smell it. It must be me.
And this is probably where this fear came from. Learned in 6th grade that I needed to start wearing deodorant because a kid walked up to me and was like, you smell, man.
Oh,
you need to wear deodorant.
I think all of us have that experience, Pat.
Yeah, he told all my bullies too.
That's the exact same reason I started wearing deodorant. Somebody's told me it smelled like ham.
Ooh.
Really?
That's
rough. Like really bad, right?
Yeah. All right. Let's move off of
what do we smell like now?
Give me legitimate anxiety. I smell good. I work very hard at it.
I hate scents. Yeah,
I know.
I hate fragrances and scents, so I don't wear scents. But thankfully, I'm not that smelly of a guy, just generally.
As far as you know.
As far as I know. Hey, Pat, am I a smelly guy?
No. Why don't you tell me to tell you?
Pat, tell me about Uncanny X-Men number 145.
Uncanny X-Men number 145.
Uncanny X-Men number 145?
Kidnapped. Chris Claremont, writer, Dave Cockrum, and Joe Rubenstein, artists.
He's back!
He's back. Joe Rosen, letterer, Glynis Ween, colorist, Louise Jones, editor, Jim Jomp Schuper, editor-in-chief. Release date, February 17th, 1981. Cover date, May 1981. We see Aurora and Stevie Hunter taking in the opera together.
Aw. And fucking Aurora is rude again. She does her rude Aurora thing where Stevie's like, hey, thanks for inviting me. And she's like, that was Kitty's doing, not mine.
Storm still distrusts Stevie.
Yeah.
But Kitty got sick and offered her the extra ticket. How could she say no?
Yeah. How could she?
As she reflects on this, a dark-haired woman enters their private theater box and touches them both on the shoulder. Storm reacts immediately with an awesome gust of wind.
What? Why? Somebody just touched her on the shoulder. Everybody chill out.
This shadowy figure introduces herself as Ms. Locke, a representative for Arcade, and her touch has already poisoned the two.
Okay, I'm sorry, Aurora. I was wrong.
Locke needs the X-Men's help and wants Storm to hear her offer before administering the antidote.
Damn.
Arcade, through some goofy plan with Toad.
Hold on.
Yeah.
This is also, Stevie did not know that her new friends, the X-Men,
Are the X-Men. Yeah.
are the X-Men. She did not know this. And so when Storm uses her powers, Stevie's like, what the hell? And Storm's like, I will tell you about it later.
I'll explain this later. There's no time for that now. Arcade, in a Marvel 2-in-1 comic, through some goofy plan with Toad, Matt, who continues to appear.
He's not appearing. He's not here.
He's referenced. He's the cause of all this.
He's not here. He's not here.
You momentarily see Toad land his arcade-style murder world.
But notably, they do not show Toad.
Yeah, that's...
Chris Claremont hates Toad. And Iceman, who appears in this issue.
Through this goofy plan with Toad, he has angered Dr. Doom and been kidnapped by him. Locke has kidnapped the friends of the X-Men.
But it's like an adult kidnapping, like a bratty little kid, right? Like it is
Moira, the Greys, Jean Grey's parents, Candy and Amanda, and even Peter's little sister, Ileana.
They went all the way to Russia. Miss Locke traveled all the way to Russia to kidnap Ileana.
To kidnap a child, yeah.
And all the way to Ireland to kidnap Moira. Like, what? Come on.
And she's keeping them all in Murder World until the X-Men rescue Arcade from Doom. If they fail, everyone dies.
Okay.
Storm feels the poison coursing through her and loses consciousness. When she awakens, Stevie is gone. Storm immediately informs the X-Men, who contact Hank McCoy for some intel on Doom.
Not until after we see some fucking airplane stuff again for no reason.
Oh, yeah. He goes on about several different airplanes in this issue.
She just like flies and they cut to some airplane. What is it? Oh, an airplane is like using airplane lingo to talk about how her wind was surprising.
Hank offers to bring the Avengers in, but for some reason Xavier says no. Instead, he brings in his own reinforcements. Lorna and Alex off in the desert. Bobby Drake at school on the East Coast?
Yeah, what the hell? Why is he in the East Coast?
I guess he transferred.
And they show Iceman's dorm room, and there's a Kiss album.
Yeah.
A Star Wars, I guess, soundtrack, because it's with his records, and it says Star Wars. Nude woman on the wall.
He's such a dork.
A poster that says Space Cruise Yamato, which apparently is just like some anime from the time. So he's like an anime dork. And then Pat,
that's even worse.
Who is that?
Any anime fans listening, but that's worse.
Who is that guy on the wall with the darts in his face?
I did not put a name to this face.
It's clearly like it's like an angry looking guy wearing a turban, or I know there's different words for different head wraps.
Like a head wrap of some sort.
A head wrap of some sort, and he's got like a beard. He looks like, your sort of
political caricature
of like a Middle Eastern terrorist from somewhere between 1980 and 2010.
They all hated the Ayatollah at the time, right?
Maybe
wasn't that the big? I only know that from The Simpsons, but
it very well could be the Ayatollah. He's got a beard. He wears a head wrap. He's got big eyebrows, but this guy has black hair, and Ayatollah pretty much, it seems like the entire time was famous, had white hair.
Yeah. I have no idea. Maybe it's generic racist terrorism stuff. That was another big thing in the early 80s, right? Was terrorists hijacking planes. That was not that they were doing it, just that it was like everybody's fear.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so Bobby Drake, racist.
So Bobby Drake's at school. Banshee is our final reinforcement, who's already in a plane trying to get to the bottom of Moira's disappearance.
Huh.
The professor isn't able to contact Scott and reveals that there's been a subtle shift in the Earth's magnetic field that's making it difficult.
Okay, all right, sure.
He says this could only be the work of Magneto.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah, we don't follow up on that. We also don't follow up on this.
Do you think we will ever follow up on it?
No, probably not. We cut to Scott and Al.
What?
Elitist Forrester. She also goes by Al.
Yeah, when did it suddenly become Al instead of Lee?
Right here. As they wash up on the shore of a remote island.
What the fuck?
And Scott's lost his glasses.
What?
But now we're cutting. I'm sure we'll come back to this as well.
Why? Yeah, why are they're just like suddenly just like on an island?
They got shipwrecked, Matt.
Would have been kind of cool to see the shipwreck, but whatever, man. Whatever, fucking Chris Claremont.
We got to trust our narrator on this one. The X-Men, back in X-Men land, have no intention of giving in to ransom demands. Instead, they send half of the expanded team to Murder World to rescue the hostages, and the other half to break Arcade out of Doom's dungeon, including Storm, who is to keep Doom distracted by non-violently negotiating for Arcade's release. But, despite Doom's reputation and villainous activity, he's a very accommodating host. He and Storm sit down to a royal feast and flirt back and forth, each acknowledging to themselves that the other's power is attractive.
She is horny for Dr. Doom.
Yeah, she really finds him attractive.
Dr. Doom is such a ridiculous character. Like, he introduces himself. He's like, I am Doom! It's like, settle down, man.
Relax. Everybody knows.
Everybody knows. And don't talk like that. There's no reason for it.
I do love this shit, though. I think that's the price you pay for his weird sense of nobility and sitting down to a large feast with Storm. And even as an internal monologue is like, I respect her power, even though I'm going to crush that power.
He does refer to himself in his thoughts as I, even though out loud he always refers to himself as Doom.
He goes back and forth. This dinner provides cover for Logan, Kurt, Peter, and Warren to break in several floors below and discover that Arcade's cell is actually empty.
What the fuck?
It's a trap. In burst a bunch of goons in mech armor, bragging that they're equipped to defeat the Fantastic Four. But these are the X-Men, not the Fantastic Four, as idiots. Wolverine eloquently points out. And through teamwork, they make very light work of these dorks. Wolverine's costume is the only major casualty.
And we see, from a side view, but we see Wolverine's nude butt.
His bare butt.
It's so funny. We
always got to point out when someone's missing an article of clothing.
It's so funny as they're fighting these robots. Warren is like, let's get him, folks. It like charges. Warren, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
What are you're gonna fly above them and tell people where to hit?
They've got armor on. I think he distracts one of them.
And then when they kill these guys, literally kill, like, Wolverine tears entirely through one, and Nightcrawler causes two to blast each other by accident. And you see their like hollow, charred armor on the ground. And Chris Claremont writes, "The suits are ruined. The men inside stunned unconscious." Okay, Chris. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, they're unconscious, Chris. Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
Up above, Storm seems to be doing just as well in establishing a rapport with Doom until he reveals the surprise dinner guest, Arcade.
No.
Thanks. Doom, of course, planned all of this and has been aware of the other X-Men's presence the entire time. He uses some magic orb to turn Storm into a living statue just moments before the X-Men burst in the room and meet the same fate. Peter is unaffected because he's already a living statue, but a neural disruptor knocks him unconscious, and the X-Men are defeated.
Oh, no.
Come on, give me a little enthusiasm.
Sorry, it's exciting, I guess, but here's my problem. After all these Byrne Claremont issues, I don't know if you feel the same way, but I feel like the storytelling just like immediately has taken a step backward without Byrne.
Yeah, it seems like it's just a little lighter. It's a little more unaffected by the events that are taking place.
It's immediately like there's still the very character-based writing and stuff, but the story itself feels a little more plot-based, and I don't know, it's like Cockrum's back, and it immediately feels like we hopped back to the Cockrum era.
It's almost formulaic. It's like here's a former X-Men villain. He's back. Yeah. He's teaming up with this very popular Fantastic Four villain, and now we just get to see we get to see who's stronger.
Right, like something that would have even been in, like, say, the Roy Thomas era, where it's like, oh, let's bring a bunch of, and we're going to find all the other X-Men and bring them back in so that we can team up against the bad guys.
Yeah.
It's like a little more sophisticated than that. And in the writing specifically, like the moment to moment character dialogue and thoughts and whatnot is it's a lot more sophisticated. But in the moment to moment, it feels like we're just like jumping back a few years.
The sort of overarching plot of the thing.
Yes.
Series of events.
Like we're in 1981 now, and it felt like we were in the 80s with Byrne. But even though we're in 1981, it feels like we're back in the 1970s. So I think that's it. I think it's not bad. It's enjoyable. And there's some good moments, but...
It's also Doom at this point. And I could be wrong about this. I'm estimating timelines here, but this is around the time that Doom starts becoming like a more powerful villain across the Marvel universe, right?
Like stepping out of the Fantastic Four spotlight.
Yeah,
kind of
like Magneto has been for so many years at this point, right? He's always he's a major Avengers villain at this point as much as he is a major X-Men villain.
You mean at the point of this story, not
yeah.
Right, yeah, he's been the villain in several big Avengers stories at this point, yeah.
And I think Doom is starting to gain that same notoriety. He hasn't met the X-Men before. It's time to hit those wills against each other.
Sure. And I get it from that angle. But again, that is 1970s storytelling. It's fine. It's fine. It's not bad. I don't hate it. I don't even dislike it. I'm not enamored by it the way I was with the Claremont Byrne stuff.
I will say, speaking of hopping back to the 60s,
okay,
we get a couple of gadgets here. A neural disruptor, which I think still gets used today, but that's very just a very vague knock out the good guy weapon.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we also get asbestos nets. They capture Nightcrawler in an asbestos net, which he easily escapes. He can teleport, but I understand, being that this is 1981, that the understanding of asbestos at the time was that it's fireproof, so you can't burn your way out of this net. It really seems, with modern context, that they're just throwing a net of cancer at him.
Yeah, it's like
it's like splashing some radiation on somebody.
Right. Yeah, it's like dipping somebody in mercury. At the time, it felt like a harmless thing. Or the way my mom used to tell stories about how when she was a kid, she used to run behind planes doing
we've talked about before.
The pesticide planes.
Yeah, and how much fun it was to try to catch it in your mouth.
I don't think she did that. I think that was a bit that we did, but
I only know your parents through bits we do about them.
So, Pat, are you willing to sit here on these microphones and listen to me tell you about Uncanny X-Men number 146?
Matt, I have never been readier. Let's go.
Murder World! Chris Claremont, writer. Dave Cockrum and Joseph Rubinstein, artist. Tom Orzechowski, letterer. Glynis Ween, colorist. Louise Jones, editor. Jump Schuper, editor-in-chief. The release date is March 17th, 1981. The cover date is June 1981. We open on Doom on his castle balcony, standing with one leg up on a ledge with Aurora standing docilely behind him. He is in awe of the power of the unexpected tempest hitting his castle. Could this be Storm's doing? Impossible, he thinks. He turns back from the balcony and commands Storm to pour him and his guests some mulled wine, which she does with a polite curtsy.
Mulled wine? That's Doom's drink of choice.
He's a big Renaissance Fair fan.
His victory drink.
He spends a lot of time at the Renaissance Fair, so he's just like developed a taste for it. He also eats a big turkey leg.
That would track.
It's my one hobby. Arcade enters and reveals that despite the plot twists, he is indeed Doom's prisoner.
Ooh.
Doom shows off his death traps for each X-Man to Arcade. He hasn't killed any of them, but instead wants to study them, devising individual tests for each of them with a complex solution based on their unique skills. Huh. That's okay. That's familiar.
Is he just doing an arcade?
He's just like, I'm you now.
Yeah, which is honestly a pretty good move. That's a power move for sure.
Exactly. Kurt is trapped in a white room. No idea where he is. Just can't teleport out. He has no conception of how he could be deep underground and teleport 2 miles up and be in rock, right? Peter is stranded on a rock in the middle of a body of water. His one weakness, rocks and water. We'll find out.
There's laser guns on the bottom too.
Yeah. We'll find out why this is specifically attuned to Peter later, but at this point, it seems kind of silly. It's like when Arcade put them all in different like things that had to do with their personalities, and they put Nightcrawler in an arena with a bunch of buzzsaw cars.
Oh yeah, the bumper cars.
Wolverine is in a zero-gravity chamber with headaches and psychedelic perspective-altering checkered walls to fuck with his sanity. Senses. Yeah. Warren is in a birdcage with laser guns instead of walls. Doom also reveals that the Storm serving them drinks is a robot. The actual Storm is still a statue. A weird sort of sign of respect in Doom's twisted perspective is like, look, I made a sex robot of you. Yeah. Hey, I respected you so much. I made you into a little toy.
He says he says something to the effect of like, she'll never age out of her beauty.
Jesus Christ.
This way. Yeah, it's fucked up. But it's also this is the Doom shit that I eat up, where he like, this is what he thinks is the honorable thing to do in this situation.
And he's also like, he calls her he does refer to this as a toy. I won't say what happens before that. I don't want to spoil anything, but he does say like, that was a toy. Like, okay, so you admit it. As they laugh, though, we slowly zoom in on Aurora's chromed eyes as the narrator reveals she is indeed creating this powerful storm outside, paralyzed by claustrophobia. Being a statue, her primal subconscious is lashing out and creating a storm that will either free or kill her. Both options better than this fate. The storm even reaches a nearby island, where we briefly check in on Scott Summers and Lee. Just back to Lee Forrester. Now he's lost his blindfold, but they find it.
All that happens.
Flashback
on them to find them affected by the storm.
Flashback to about 6 hours earlier. Lorna.
6 hours earlier.
Lorna, thank you. Alex, Sean, and Bobby are able to locate Murder World and infiltrate, but once again, it's a trap. They all just fall into their own specifically designed Murder World rooms. Alex is on a rocket ship roller coaster, but other ships are shooting at him, and some of them are real. It's literally Banshee's room from last time, only there's a roller coaster in it. Bobby finds himself in an ice rink that's slowly heating up with a bunch of hockey players charging at him. Oh, also under the ice, I forgot, it's acid.
Hockey players.
How could they have known Iceman was coming and designed a room specifically for him? Like, Havok's room just feels like, it doesn't feel like anything to do with Havok, right? It's just a room they have at Murder World.
Yeah.
But Iceman's room is clearly designed for him. How did they know he was coming?
Maybe it's just leftover.
Well, it's also very clearly by its design, the Nightcrawler buzzsaw car room.
Oh, right.
Filled with ice. Right.
Just with ice and hockey players.
But where the cars came out, hockey players come out. Lorna rides a carousel, but the horses are alive and evil.
Oh,
also,
no.
Ileana is there, but turns out to be a robot and shoots her with a gun.
Sorry, there's such a paradox in this. It's single frame where you see the reveal, because Lorna is chasing after Ileana, being like, hey, we can get out of here. We'll be okay. Recognizes Ileana as Peter's younger sister. Mm-hmm. And then this child turns around with this demonic look on its face.
It's actually pretty good. That's a pretty good face.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
And then the dialogue to go along with it is, eat hot lead, sucker.
Sean is on an Old West movie set and wins in a duel, but then finds Moira tied to roller coaster tracks by Snidely Whiplash.
I presume, yeah. He's literally saying, yeah.
And it's the same. It turns out it's the same tracks that Alex is on. There's a moment here where somebody calls somebody else a yabo.
Oh, yeah, that's Banshee.
Banshee calls these guys yabo. Like, he's like, I'm going to throw my micro bombs at these yabos.
Yeah.
Yabos, buddy. Alex manages to escape near death, leaving Locke and her assistant, Mr. Chambers, to assume he's dead, and escapes out an access tunnel. Lorna, Bobby, and Sean all escape their trap rooms without harm, and Alex sneaks into the control room, and the bad guys get busted.
Oh, yeah. They call the cops.
On their way out, they notice the weather has turned a tempest. As far as the eye can see, across the Atlantic, Doom surmises that this powerful a storm must be the work of Storm herself, and expresses that concern to Arcade. Arcade's gleeful, though, and he reveals why, as he lights a match on Doom's chest plate.
So disrespectful.
Nightcrawlers no longer in that cell. To be continued. I want to back up just 1 second. When Havok gets a jump on the bad guys, he pulls a straight up Bugs Bunny.
He does.
They turn around and he's leaning over their like computer console with his butt in the air and his head, like his chin on his like fingers laced together, and he's like
his back is arched so that his butt is pointing at like 45 degrees.
He's doing hey, what's up, Doc? He's doing exactly that. Right.
Yeah. And then he zaps her gun with his two fingers. Zap.
Oh boy. Here's some other notes I have. Do you have any big thoughts before I just start tearing this thing to fucking shreds, man?
You sound off first. I'll pick up the scraps.
Number one, Iceman's room doesn't do anything. He's like, oh, there's acid beneath, and I'm on thin ice, and there's acid beneath, and there's heaters above. I'll just make an ice slide and escape.
And it works.
It works.
Because it's only starting to heat up.
And it's another one of these things where Claremont keeps describing things that aren't in the art, and he's like, Iceman is like, oh man, the heat is really affecting my ice slide. It's making it really hard. The ice slide looks normal and fine. Everything looks fine. He looks like Iceman. His slide looks like Iceman's slide. Ridiculous. And
so simple.
And when he catches Lorna, he mentions he's still in love with her.
Oh my God. No, you're not.
You're not. You don't know her.
It's been 6 years at this point.
And I mean, in there, he talks about being in his second year of college. So in their world, it's at least been 2, maybe 3, because he spent all that time on the Champions.
Yeah,
and that time on Krakoa. Come on, dude.
It's been a long time. Like, it's been 10 years of
You
action
gotta
time.
stop setting up, and it's been. You gotta stop doing it.
It's been 10 years.
Also, that fucking Fantastic Car ripoff comes back.
Oh, yeah. They just cruise around in that thing now.
At least, like, here's the one thing I'll say about, like, even though there's a bunch of dumb shit, like, we're talking about a bunch of dumb shit, at least they're consistent, right? Like, as we're following this, it's like, oh, wow, even the ships are consistent. Even the dumb ships they have are like, oh, the X-Men get the Blackbird, and the leftover dorks get the little Fantastic Car that the X-Men don't use anymore. So, like, it's a really funny thought, and I don't even know if it's on purpose, but it is very funny.
It's their second Fantastic Car, if I recall correctly. I think they've only blown one up so far.
But that means they still keep one just in case some dorks come along and need to use it.
All right, Matt.
Yeah.
Why don't we move on to Uncanny X-Men number 147?
I can't think of a reason why not.
Rogue and Storm.
No.
I'm sorry, just Rogue Storm.
It is interesting sometimes how you see like words Claremont likes and how they come back and over again. Like you'll see him just like use the word Jubilee, and you're like, yeah, I know. I know you will.
Yeah, I know you're thinking about that.
You'll see him use the word Gambit a lot, and then you're just like, yeah, okay.
Chris Claremont writer, Dave Cockrum, and Joseph Rubinstein artists.
Cool.
Glynis colorer, Ors letterer, Louise Jones editor, Jomp Schuper editor-in-chief. Release date, April 14th, 1981. Cover date, July 1981. Nightcrawler is in midair in pain as he just teleported 2 miles upwards into the raging storm around Doom's theme park castle.
Whoa.
He can't bamf to the ground because he's already falling super fast. Yeah. So he spreads his body out and looks for an updraft to slow him down.
What is this whole thing?
It's not the first time this episode. I don't think we mentioned the first time, but that someone has found an updraft and managed to stop themselves from falling to their death.
Okay.
The art shows him spreading his body out like a starfish, right? Which you could argue creates some wind resistance, not enough to stop you from dying.
Well,
but like if you're Spider-Man and you've got those little webs under your armpits, you can use those to glide.
So I guess my question is, why don't people who like fall out of buildings or planes or whatever, why don't
just
they
find the updraft?
Find an updraft. Yeah, well, spread yourself out, aim for an updraft. It's actually makes me angry that everyone who's ever died from a fall is just stupid because they didn't do this.
Jeez, Matt.
It's like Chris Claremont. Somebody's talking to Chris Claremont and Dave Cockrum, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that guy died from an 80-foot fall." And both of them are like, "Why? How? How? What?"
Should have just found the updraft.
He should have found the updraft.
It would have gone down different.
It is exactly. Yeah, if I fell from an airplane, here's what I would do. I would just spread myself out, and then I'd look for an updraft, and I'd just hit the updraft, and I'd be fine.
It's there fighting a bear.
Right, exactly.
Well, he does. Nightcrawler finds an updraft that
makes me so mad. It made me so mad reading this.
Shoots him up into the air, and then teleports over the water and swims to the shore.
Jeez.
Back in Doom's castle, is the physics of it. You know what? Never mind.
Well, it's like he's like, I gotta slow down because if I teleport again, so he says I'm gonna find an updraft to help me slow down,
right?
Like my descent.
And
then Dave Cockrum draws him flying upwards in the air.
Yeah. So he goes down. He hits the updraft. He's spread out enough that he starts to ride it back up into the air. But Chris Claremont notes that he was waiting for the moment that he was almost at like perfect zero falling speed right before he starts to incline. So, and teleports then so that the momentum is at its lowest point when he appears.
So it's just another moment of Claremont contradicting what's in the art directly.
No, I think he is
because in the art he's flying
he starts to lift. I think that's supposed to be him starting to lift, and Claremont was like, this is the perfect moment for him to teleport because now his momentum is at its slowest.
Oh my god.
It makes sense.
No,
I thought it through.
It is cool to see Nightcrawler with wet hair, though, because it looks like he has long hair instead of just curly hair, and he looks like the Nightcrawler from that cartoon show.
He looks so handsome.
Yeah,
just popping his head out of the water, waving his hair.
Yeah.
Back in Doom's castle, Arcade is laughing at the fact that Nightcrawler escaped, but Doom tells him this was all part of the plan and sends some men to recapture the X-Men. Meanwhile, Doom is becoming worried about the growing storm outside. So, apparently, is NORAD.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's just a fucking excuse to cut to other Air Force stuff. Stop it!
Anyway, Nightcrawler reaches the castle and takes out a few henchmen before going searching for his friends. Colossus, still clinging to the rocks above the whirlpool, has noticed that the lasers at the bottom only seem to be pulverizing the larger rocks that sink into their path. He reasons that, as Colossus, he might be vaporized, but as Peter, he could probably slip by, but he'd risk drowning.
Mm-hmm.
Taking the chance, he switches to human form and sinks below the water, and just before he runs out of air, he steals up and punches through the wall. This unleashes a deluge of water into Angel, who had just worked out of the laser system and made his way out of his cage.
They just left.
Angel is just like, so he first tried to escape because it's just a bird cage with no walls, and he found all the laser guns there, and he's like, okay, here on this perch seems to be the one place I'm allowed to stand, and then conceivably just sits there for a while until he's like, oh wait, I've done this in the danger room. These are laser guns, but I can fly around laser guns.
He's the worst superhero of all time.
He was just sitting there.
And he's
so
like
sad about it.
Yeah, and he says, he's like, but I have to do it at top speed. Why? What could possibly be the reason that you have to do this at top speed?
Well, the lasers are fast.
He's not outrunning the lasers, he's dodging them. Why does he have to do it at top speed? This doesn't make any sense. Also, by the way, the guns blow up the rocks and scorch Peter's arm off panel.
Yes, we see Peter just swimming unharmed down. This is the most egregious one because the logic of how this works is that the lasers aren't going to hit Peter. Yeah. They're only going to hit him in his metal form.
So Dave Cockrum draws a scene of Peter unharmed swimming through the water.
But very close to drowning. Like, it's still tense, but he makes it past the lasers. And then, the narration says, clearly, as you can see, Peter takes a shot to the arm from one of the lasers.
Yeah, the lasers blew up one of the rocks behind him, and it singes Peter's arm. No, it didn't. I'm looking at him.
Yeah, this seems intentional. It seems like he wanted to alpha Dave Cockrum here. Just remember who's boss around here.
It really feels like it. It really feels like he is on purpose being a dick to the artist.
Wolverine, meanwhile, struggling with sensory overload, is flashing back to a time when his uncontrollable berserker rage popped out and made him attack his pal James Hudson.
James Hudson, Vindicator from Alpha Flight.
Or Captain Alpha. He thinks about how recently he's been losing his grip on that side of himself once again, but maybe if he harnesses it rather than letting it control him, it could be useful. Somebody's been to therapy. So he pops his claws.
His therapy. We watched it. It feels like this is Claremont rationalizing all the times that Wolverine almost killed Nightcrawler. Like, he was reading backwards and being like, oh, I almost had Wolverine kill Nightcrawler twice. So, okay.
Very petty.
Here's what I'll do. I'll do it again. And then I'll just say, I'll have Wolverine go, oh man, it's been my berserker rages have been slipping lately, bub. I gotta get control on it, right? Like so that
Yeah.
it's like he's just trying to make sense of something dumb he wrote
Because at
50
that
issues
time,
ago. Yeah,
50 issues ago, as far as anybody knew, that was Wolverine. He was
Right.
just like a maniac, right?
exactly. And so now he's like, okay, now that I know who Wolverine is, I have to explain why I did that.
He's got to go back and fix everything.
Yeah.
So he pops his claws and lashes out at every wall he bounces off of until the mechanism breaks and drops him to the floor. Then he claws his way through the walls and doors until he reaches Doom's sanctuary.
Yeah.
When he ruthlessly carves through the Storm robot, Dr. Doom is taken aback but manages to blast Wolverine at the last second.
This is when he's like, that was just a toy.
Kurt ports in behind Doom and wraps him in a curtain. Best move anybody's had against him so far.
Yeah.
Giving Wolverine the advantage to get the drop on Doom. Beaten and threatened with death, Doom releases Storm from her living chrome prison. Storm, seething with power, is not happy.
She's not happy. She's kind of upset, actually.
I don't know, it doesn't get mentioned a lot, but she's actually claustrophobic, man.
Oh, I never read that into this.
She begins...
Doom punches... What is he? Who's he punch? He punches Wolverine. I thought last issue you said you didn't engage in fisticuffs. Interesting.
He does when he has to. I don't think that's a gotcha as much as it's... What else was he going to do?
I don't engage in fisticuffs. Punch.
Storm begins unleashing a massive torrent of lightning and wind on both Doom and her friends indiscriminately. Wolverine and Kurt begin to fear another Dark Phoenix scenario, but are powerless to stop it. But Colossus bursts in and collapses the floor, dropping everyone out of the castle and out of harm's way, betting on their agility and resiliency to survive the fall. He tries to reason with Storm, but she blasts him out of the castle too. Angel appears, and all he does is yell at Dr. Doom.
He says something like almost to the effect of, I'm here too. Like, I don't remember what he says, but it is like almost exactly that sentiment.
I think the characterization of Doom here is really good because he is just like, he knows he fucked up. He locked Storm up and then he lost a battle that forced him to release Storm. And now Storm is an uncontrollable force.
Yeah.
So he is feeling bad, but trying to get things under control. And Warren is standing behind him going like, this is your fault. Why would I help you, Dr. Doom?
Right.
He's just trying to just trying to belittle him.
Here's the line. He says, "Phew, nothing like being in time for the main event." Okay, man. It is, he's saying, I'm here now.
Old school X-Men. As Aurora begins yelling to the world that she is a goddess, Peter, from the ground, continues trying to reason with her. He reminds her of her humanity, of her strength, and of the Phoenix. The thought of Jean Grey snaps Storm out of her rage, and she flies up into the upper atmosphere, finally dispels the raging Storm, knocking herself unconscious and falling to the ground in the process. Angel catches her. His favorite thing.
That's one reason why he's here.
She wakes as she reaches the ground and confronts Doom and Arcade, forcing Arcade to apologize to Doom. In return, he allows them to take Arcade with them and apologizes himself to Aurora. He perceived them as threats, but he didn't mean to harm her and wants to be friends. She forgives him and tells him that the slate is clean between them. Essentially, the next time they meet, they can forget that this all happened, except
they're
for the
neither
part
enemies
they
nor
got
friends.
horny for each other.
Yeah, they're neither enemies nor friends, but they're both very horny.
It is very much. They are both like just clearing a path so they can bone.
Yeah.
Right. That's what this is all about.
Do you think they ever will?
Not the writers. The characters are like, look, this was going pretty well until I had to attack you and all of your friends or family. Can we just go back to that?
Do you think they ever will bone?
The implications here are pretty strong. I legitimately don't know if they ever do. But meanwhile, on a remote island in the Bermuda Triangle, Scott Summers is waking up next to Lee Forrester. She kisses him. And he, sleepy and blind, calls her Jean. Mm-hmm. Lee is upset, but not angry. And besides, she's distracted by something offshore. A giant city towers over them that wasn't there when they went to sleep. To be continued.
Next episode. That's our last issue. So, how'd you feel about this little arc?
I think more than you, it seems like. I really enjoyed this.
Okay.
This is very, I know I said this last issue, but like, the villains just don't matter here. Especially with those first couple of stories. The despair.
Kitty's demon.
The man thing popping in, and then the demon chasing Kitty. Like, this is about establishing who these characters are, where they're at right now, and sort of like we talked about Dark Phoenix being a clean slate for them to move forward. This is them setting that all up. We need to know why they are where they are, and why they're about to do whatever they're about to do.
I think that was a lot more true in the last episode, because I feel like those still felt, to me anyway, like character-driven stories that were happening like in the midst of supervillain stories. These feel to me like superhero stories that have character-driven moments throughout them, if that makes sense. Like, the dialogue and narration is still written in a very character-driven kind of way, but this arc felt like the villains were supposed to matter, right? Like, this felt like it was as much about the villains as it was about the characters, the way it was, again, back in the 1970s.
I think by the time we get to the end of this Doom arc, yes, they definitely get back to more plot-driven stuff and just seeing what happens. It does become sort of a plug and play of, what villains or what heroes are getting caught in Doctor Doom's death traps. But the solutions to those problems are unique enough to make it feel like the arcade stuff that we got, that felt like old X-Men, just generic villain. There's no real reason for them to be there or to accomplish their goals other than they're the heroes. They're the good guys. So they're going to make it. I think the main team though, that we're following is still really doing some powerful character stuff and adapting old comic tropes without sort of falling into the trap of being formulaic. So
I think the other thing to mention is that there's a lot of things that are happening here that feel kind of, as we are reading this in the way that we are, become a little more transparent than if you're just kind of reading for fun. And I think a couple of them, number one, super clear that the focus has shifted back from Wolverine to Nightcrawler again. Cockrum's back. We're seeing a lot of Nightcrawler. Most of the action centers around Nightcrawler. Most of the scenes of like when the team's all together, Nightcrawler's the guy you're looking at. We're back, like, again, with Byrne as Wolverine. With Cockrum, it's Nightcrawler, and it's immediately apparent.
Yeah. Except, we do get Wolverine's bare butt.
We get Wolverine's bare butt. And he has a really badass moment when he fights Doom. And he's like, I'm going to keep coming at you until I'm dead.
Yeah. He gets a good speech.
The other thing I think that's very apparent is that Chris Claremont is trying to fix and build some rules here.
Yes.
Right? Number one, he's trying to fix the Wolverine trying to kill Nightcrawler thing.
And just generally his attitude through his first, 10 appearances in X-Men, right?
Right. Yeah. He's just a guy who has trouble controlling this thing inside him called a berserker rage. And that's why sometimes he acts completely out of character for a minute. That's what it's trying to say.
But he's moved past all that now.
Right. And that's what we had observed as readers, is we had observed that Wolverine's primary characteristic was not his rages or his violence. His primary characteristic was his ability to control it. And I think Claremont has a good handle on that and decided, I'm going to let him let it slip a few times just so I can point out how this has been. Like, I can retroactively make this a consistent characterization, which is interesting and smart.
Yeah. Yeah. He does that with Scott too, right? He goes back and starts adding to Scott's backstory, which I'm sure we'll start exploring more and more as time goes. But he goes back to what we already know, the sort of brief flashes we saw from Corsair. And now we're getting this expansion of that story.
Yeah.
To even overshadow the origin story that's already written for him, which is pretty cheesy and from 1966 or whatever.
Yeah. We didn't mention, but this is the first time that Scott remembers this too.
Yeah, yeah.
This happens to him, like that scene pops in, that he was on an airplane with his parents. He and Alex were thrown out and there was only one parachute and his parents exploded above him. All we had known up to that point was he grew up in an orphanage. I think we knew that his parents died in a plane crash, right?
Yes, we knew that they died in a plane crash and that there was some force after them.
We didn't know that he was in the plane or Alex was in the plane. We didn't know the one parachute thing. This is also how he likely got his brain damage, right?
Yeah, bonked his head on the way down.
Mm-hmm. So
on the way down to the ground from an airplane.
He's always doing this. So that's another thing. A third thing is Claremont's trying to set up something that I don't think really ever comes to fruition in the X-Men.
No.
Which is, I think he's trying to set up. Me and you had a bit of a disagreement, I think, on the Dark Phoenix episode about what they were trying to say. Were they trying to say Jean Grey was taken over by an entity called the Phoenix? Or were they trying to say that mutants have this power inside them and they all can access more power
in sort of a life-threatening situation? They could potentially...
They can access so much power inside them that it is overwhelming. Yeah.
Anyone can be a Dark Phoenix.
Right. And yet all mutants have a mental limit in their head to protect them from that. And what he's showing us here with Storm is like, yeah, this is all mutants. It can happen to Storm too. Storm can be a Phoenix. And I think, I'm not sure about this, but I feel like that's what he was trying to set up with Wolverine, maybe.
Interesting.
Wolverine,
like a dark Wolverine.
Yes, that there's a dark Wolverine inside him, and that's what his berserker rages are. That's when his real power comes out, and he becomes the most fierce and the most fighty and clawy and vulnerable. Yes. Yeah. And again, it never really pans out. This doesn't end up how it is.
Keep an eye out for more of that as we go, because it clearly doesn't. I don't know how I feel about that. About like the Dark Phoenix. And they wouldn't know this at the time, but becomes such an iconic thing that happened to a specific character. It would be weird to see like, oh, anybody can be a Dark Phoenix. Let's do it to Nightcrawler.
He can super teleport. He can teleport a whole island.
He's teleporting entire cities.
Yeah.
As he's being impish and mischievous with his...
Yeah, he like loses...
unlimited power.
Right, like instead of him, like Nightcrawler's ultimate form, when he loses his sanity, he doesn't think he's a god. He doesn't try to destroy worlds. He just thinks he becomes a funny little imp.
Yeah, even more of a little scamp.
Big scamp now.
Yeah, big scamp.
I think this will be interesting to like pay really close attention to and see in what ways Claremont leans into this or pulls away from it.
Yeah.
Though, like you're saying, like, yeah, you don't know how it would feel. Like the way our timeline went was Phoenix became an iconic character.
Yeah. In our universe.
This is about Jean Grey, the Phoenix thing. But in perhaps the universe that Claremont intended, this is the way the X-Men exist from now on. And this is just something about mutants, is that all mutants can, if they're not careful, go insane and turn into these ultra powerful gods. Is that more interesting? Because that sounds pretty fucking interesting.
I think that sounds interesting as like a what if, like a. I don't know that I would want to. At that point, it becomes like they're just gods fighting each other, and it becomes like a.
I'm saying think about it as a tension that like this is something that all mutants are fighting internally against, and mutants are trying to help each other through every now and then, right? Like, not that all of them become gods and now they're just gods and there's gods running everywhere, but the X-Men are X-Men, but they're always trying to resist this temptation to become gods.
Yeah, I don't know if I would like that. I don't know if I would like the way that it would get you. I think it's an interesting idea. I think the way that it would get employed is just like every time they've run out of options, one of them turns into their dark version, and then we have to go through an arc.
Who's the worst mutant that could become the dark version of themselves? I have one. I have one immediately, but I want to hear one from you.
We've met Professor X's. He was pretty bad. I think maybe the Blob or Toad. Toad.
Dark Toad is pretty good. What would his powers look like?
Probably that thing he does in the movie where he spits on people and it wraps them in phlegm.
Yeah.
That.
So here's mine. It's a guy we haven't met yet, but he's from Generation X, and it's skin.
Ew.
His thing is he can grow skin. He can grow extra skin, and he like uses it like spider webs sometimes, like Spider-Man. Like he swings from trees with it or whatever.
Ew.
Imagine skin where he's got an enhanced version of his growing extra skin power. He's just like, he like covers an entire city.
Yes, suffocating planets.
It's just like flop.
So gross.
All right.
He's got an eye out, stuff that you could buy out. If you had a time machine that you would like to try out, it's Pat's Deals and Steals.
That's right, folks. It's time for Pat's Deals and Steals. We got a simple one today. It just says, free adventure game. Send 45 cents in U.S. stamps to cover postage and handling to SPI Department 1277, 267 Park Avenue, South, New York, 10010.
Okay. What could free adventure game be? This is pre-piece. This is pre-computer games. This is pre-video games almost entirely. This is like Atari had just started to come out.
I did some digging. I could not find what this specific game was. Would have been very cool to know exactly what game this was. But SPI in New York was a tabletop game company.
Whoa.
They were famous for their war games. It's almost, I think they're like, it's almost an RPG, but it's kind of, they haven't quite gotten there yet. But they have all these like historic war battles that you can play through as if you are managing the battle, or they have these like, they delved into hero stories or science fiction stories where you're a character sort of role playing your way through a world. Eventually, in a bid to stay alive and compete with the more popular tabletop role-playing game that was coming out, they invented Dragon Quest, which is an infamously goofy ripoff of Dungeons and Dragons. trying to be sensitive about this.
Sure.
But that was among their game count. They did pretty well for a while. They go out of business about a year after this, so it does make sense that they're trying to give away some free games.
Do you think this is Dragon Quest they're sending?
I don't know. It's late 1980 that they would have put out this ad, which is right around, I think, maybe a year after they came out with Dragon Quest.
Okay. It looks pretty much like most of what they published was Dragon Quest.
I think that was their most famous one. They took over the war games industry, the tabletop war games industry in the 70s. There were other companies that were very successful at it that they managed to beat out.
In 1981, they published... Oh, no, this is another supplement. Interesting.
So they made Dragon Quest and it just focused all their resources on supplementing Dragon Quest.
Yeah. It appears that way.
Business a year later.
Yeah. It appears some of the things that they made eventually became were purchased and adapted to be D&D modules by TSR.
Ooh, interesting.
But yeah, that's very funny. So you could just...
Today's deal, it was free, but you did have to send them 45 cents of postage, which comes out to about $1.75 in today's money.
Worth it.
Yeah,
worth it.
I would say so.
I'd do it. This is a good Pat's, Steals, and Deals.
He's got
That's
an
all I
eye out,
ask for.
stuff that you could buy out. If you had a time machine that you would like to try out, it's Pat, Deals, and Steals.
Well, thank you guys, everybody, for listening. It's been a fun time. Make sure that you follow us on Instagram at Mutant Menace Pod. Email us at mutantmenacepod@gmail.com. Join our Discord. You'll find a link in the show notes. I know that I accidentally posted some expired Discord links. I don't know. I guess I don't know how to do Discord links.
We're still learning. Discord. We're old men, but please bear with us and please join the Discord.
We'll figure it out, and I'll replace those expired links as soon as I figure it out.
Well, as usual, big thanks to Julia Selly for providing the voice of Trish Tilby. Big thanks to Krills Wilson for providing all our theme music.
Oh, and next episode, we will be stepping away from X-Men for a second to see where they appear elsewhere in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, they're making some friends. We also will get to one issue of Uncanny X-Men.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
But a lot happens between 147 and 148 that we will dig into.
Apparently.
So I guess that's it, Matt. That just leaves us with the line we always close the show out with.
What's that line, Pat?
Well, as always, folks, please remember, dear Lord, no, she exploded.
And as always, enough with the mopes already.